This is the CBS 58 News at Noon.
We would like to say that this is a Good Friday in more than one way.
An early morning raid on a remote campsite brings the manhunt for Joseph Jakubowski to an end. Did he ever plan to follow through with his threats? We may never know. It took 10 days, more than 150 state and federal officers, and hundreds of tips to track down the 32-year-old.
He was captured about 120 miles away from Janesville in western Wisconsin. Around 9:30 last night, a farmer from Reedstown near the Vernon and Richland County line reported a suspicious person camping on his property, a man matching Jakubowski's description who refused to leave. We have learned the FBI immediately sent SWAT teams from Milwaukee, Chicago, and Minneapolis to this remote area. For more than 9 hours, SWAT monitored Jakubowski's movements using what was described to us as nighttime aerial coverage, as well as a massive police presence on the ground. Just before 6 this morning, he was taken into custody without incident.
This morning, probably law enforcement officers and many citizens throughout our country are breathing a sigh of relief.
The sheriff says Jakubowski was transferred from the Vernon County to Rock County Jail this morning. He is charged with burglary and theft with potential for even more charges. In fact, the CBS station in Madison says he could appear in federal court in Madison sometime this afternoon.
The news this Good Friday, welcomed by churches that were planning extra security for those who considered attending Easter services. Just yesterday, the Janesville police chief and Rock County sheriff said it was a personal decision and that if you go out, keep an eye out. Now, after today's arrest, it will be a celebration like no other Easter morning. That concern extended to our own backyard. Several churches in Sussex, Waukesha County were the target of written threats. CBS 58's Kyle Averman has been spending some time with those church officials. Kyle, I can only imagine how they're responding to the news.
Yeah, Michelle, relief. That's the word one pastor told me when I asked him his reaction to Jakubowski's arrest. Several church leaders gathering right now inside of St. James Catholic Church for a joint Good Friday Mass service happening in about an hour from now at 1 o'clock. The religious community really has been on edge and concerned since the manhunt for Jakubowski began because he wrote anti-religious sentiments in his 161-page manifesto to President Trump, and then a letter claiming to be from Jakubowski threatened churches here in Sussex this Easter weekend. That's why the Waukesha County Sheriff's Office and other local law enforcement agencies increased patrols this week, trying to ease the minds of both parishioners and the community. The group of pastors who are holding this afternoon's joint mass met with the Sheriff's Office about an hour ago to discuss safety plans going forward.
We have some relief that he has been caught, yes. And still, we're also relieved that the County Sheriff's Department is still taking the threat seriously and is taking steps to assure safety, even though Jakubowski was caught.
So the Waukesha County Sheriff's Office has promised to continue their increased patrol as Easter services continue this weekend. Reporting live in Sussex this afternoon, Kyle Averman, CBS 58 News.
Kyle, thank you. Governor Scott Walker sent out this statement. We are very thankful to all law enforcement for their outstanding work apprehending the suspect who posed the threat, and glad that people don't have to worry about Easter weekend activities. And for many, what an ordeal this has been. Yeah, an ordeal that began 10 days ago when officials say Jakubowski stole nearly 20 high-end guns from a store in Janesville. 2 days later, the Rock County Sheriff's Office reported Jakubowski posted online threats about potentially attacking a school or public official. Schools around Rock County went on lockdown, some deciding to cancel classes altogether last Friday. Over the weekend, we learned the 32-year-old sent that manifesto to the White House, putting several churches in the area on high alert. On Monday, a letter from Jakubowski was found at his sister's house, apologizing to the owner of the gun shop that he stole from. Then last night, he was finally spotted and ultimately arrested early this morning. Janesville Police, the Rock County Sheriff, and federal agencies are planning a joint news conference scheduled for 2 this afternoon. When it happens, CBS 58 News will stream it live on our Facebook page and online at cbs58.com. Look for continuing coverage from our crews both at the scene of the takedown and at the heart of the investigation in Janesville on the news at 4 and 5 and anytime at CBS58.com.
New video released this morning shows the deadly U.S. airstrike in Afghanistan, the so-called mother of all bombs targeting ISIS tunnels in eastern Afghanistan. The Afghan government reports the strike killed 36 ISIS fighters, including a commander. A U.S. Army general called it successful and the right weapon for the right target.
The enemy had created bunkers, tunnels, and extensive minefields, and this weapon was used to reduce those obstacles so that we could continue our offensive into southern Nangarhar.
General Nicholson went on to say there is no evidence any civilians were killed. The 11-ton bomb is the largest non-nuclear weapon ever used in battle by the United States. North Korea says it won't wait around for the U.S. to attack. In fact, a senior Korean official told CBS News that Kim Jong-un would launch a preemptive nuclear attack on America. Many experts believe the country is prepared to test a nuclear weapon this weekend.
12:05, and we're checking that ready weather forecast with meteorologist Rebecca Schultz. Because, Rebecca, I can't figure out what Mother Nature has in store. I saw some sun, now clouds.
You did. Yeah, and we're going to see more of that. So as we continue on through the day.
Rebecca, thanks. Christians everywhere observing Good Friday in churches and in restaurants serving up fish fries.
We're talking about the Good Friday feast going on right now at Serb Hall in Milwaukee. CBS 58's Julie Parisi is getting a taste of the festivities on the South Side. Julie.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, Mike. Yeah, it's called America's largest fish fry, and for good reason. We've already seen several cars pull up to the drive-thru here to get their fish fry on this Good Friday. Serb Hall says they're serving up 3,000 pounds of fish, 2,000 pounds of French fries, and 900 pounds of coleslaw. Workers prepped all morning before the 11:30 kickoff here. I got a look inside the kitchen as several staffers hustle to get everything ready. People in the kitchen say they're short-staffed today, but you wouldn't know it based on how quickly they're whipping up these fish fries. They prepare all this food because for many families, of course, this fish fry is part of an Easter weekend tradition here at Serb Hall. And because we expect it to be very busy, if you do want to come celebrate your Good Friday here with a fish fry, try and get here a little early. The parking lot is already starting to fill up. Live in Milwaukee today, I'm Julie Parisi, CBS 58 News.
All right, Julie, thank you. An early morning police chase ended with a crash on Milwaukee's north side. In fact, you can see the red sedan here with some serious damage. Happened around 2 a.m. near 35th and Villard. We have reached out to police to find out why they gave chase and the number of suspects involved. We do know that it started in Whitefish Bay and that officers from there and Glendale and Milwaukee were all involved. A Milwaukee man recovering from a gunshot wound right now. Officers found him at an apartment building near 27th and Clybourne on the west side just after midnight. Police tell us that he is expected to be okay. There are, however, no suspects at this time.
In just about an hour, dozens of Wisconsin dairy farmers will meet in Beaver Dam to try to find somebody who will sell their milk and dairy products. State and federal lawmakers from Wisconsin are stepping in to make sure some 1 million pounds of dairy produced each day finds a buyer. Just days ago, Grassland Dairy said it would stop taking milk from about 75 farms, mostly in Wisconsin, because of Canadian regulations. Okay, I love these two. Would you take a look at these two adorable pups? Hard to believe that just 2 days ago, King Gristle on the far end and Mandy Sparkle Dust near were saved from a hoarder up north, and today they're up for adoption. A quiet and calm home is suggested. The Humane Society is still working with more than 24 other dogs from the same situation. We were there Wednesday as they arrived, and yesterday when they got some TLC, some for the first time.
Coming up next on the CBS 58 News at noon, an organization the head of the CIA calls one of the biggest threats to our nation's security.
Plus, Tony Romo isn't the only quarterback with hoop dreams. We'll tell you what a certain signal caller in green and gold has in mind.